What's up guys, English Dan. So every now and then something will come in and come across my table and it'll say, hey, this is only X price, but it's this good. And sometimes it's far too difficult to believe. This was one of those situations. Welcome back guys. So what am I talking about? Well, it's this. It's from POCO. It's the M3. This was, I think it's $150 or $160, somewhere around there, depending on where you buy it from. It's super cheap, and it comes with this spec list that should be nowhere near a phone at this cost. So let's get into it a little bit, and I'll explain why. Alright, so what is so good about this phone? Well, straight away, I mean, look at the back of it. It's so nice. It's got a textured back. This is plastic done right, if you ask me. Textured plastic back. Doesn't feel cheap. Doesn't feel slippery. Just feels really nice to use. It's got the big camera hump, but they've gone for uniformity, and I don't mind it whatsoever. It doesn't look that bad with the POCO branded. Then you got the triple camera setup, which I'm going to get onto in a little bit. And then obviously you got this big screen at the front, and it is a big screen. It's a really substantial, well-built device in the hands, which, you know, is a bit of a cliche, you know, ooh, it feels so good in the hands, but at this money, a phone this big should not be feeling like this. It's exceptional value straight away when you just pick up the thing and you feel the materials that have been used to build this. So okay, Dan, that's great, it's built well, but what's in it that's important? Well, this just blew my mind. So inside this thing, that's $150, $160, is a Snapdragon 662 with an Adreno 610 GPU. This thing has no problem with gaming whatsoever. You can play Call of Duty, you can play PUBG, it has no issues at all. The Snapdragon chipset in this is actually really, really good. I've never had a 662 before, but this is the first one, and I've come away really impressed with this device when it comes to performance. Also gets 4GB of RAM, 64GB of storage. You can get a 128GB storage as well. I know some people are going to be like, oh, 4GB of RAM, but remember what I've just told you. It's let's say $160. $160. 4GB of RAM's fine at $160. 6.53-inch Full HD Plus LCD display, which isn't that bad. It's actually pretty good. Very impressed again. 395 ppi, so everything looks kind of crisp and clear. I know people say that you should have Quad HD and things like that. Maybe it's my aging eyes. Who knows, but I just don't really see much of the difference anymore. And it looks absolutely fine on this unit. It's a really nice display at this price point. It's also covered in Gorilla Glass 3. So while it's not the latest Gorilla Glass, I do find that older Gorilla Glasses were tougher, whereas the new ones are a softer glass, so it prevents shattering. These were tougher, so they could take a bit more of a beat in these screens, which I'm happy about. Sorry about that noise. That was one of my animals just deciding to kick boxes over, because it's great like that. Be right back. Another thing on this device that's like, whoa, this has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. No, I said that right. I'm not lying. It has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. Standby time on this thing is nuts, just absolutely nuts. If you want battery in a phone, and that's your most important thing, this is going to give you battery and plenty of it. Also supports 18 watt fast charging, and I believe it comes with a 22.5 watt charger in the box. There's some phones 10 times the price of this that don't come with that. In fact, they don't even come with a charger. Flip over to the cameras. Cameras are, they're okay. 48 megapixel main camera that does pretty good in good lighting. I'll show you in a little while. Also, we get 2 megapixel macro sensor. I'm not big on the old macro sensors. And a 2 megapixel depth sensor. That helps with portraits and things like that. The front camera is an 8 megapixel selfie camera, and that is contained in a small notch up here. Let me get a white screen up. I have dark mode on. I just used to dark mode with everything now. But as you can see, small little notch at the top, little teardrop notch, which doesn't bother me whatsoever. I kind of prefer it to the hole punch. The hole punch really does bother me in a way, because it just is like a dot randomly in a corner, or where Samsung put it in the center. It's just like, that I can get used to because it's just a part of the bezel. But anyway, so yeah, you know, the screen's perfectly bright. very impressed. More on that in a second. Another thing you get with this is dual speakers. And you're going to be like, yeah, whatever, don't care. Dual speakers, they're going to be pants. Oh yeah? Let me show you. Alright, so, really Dan? Dual speakers, they're going to sound pants at this price. Oh yeah? Well, I'm just going to start a song and I'll start it quiet. In fact, it's actually muted right now. Here we go. So, ready? Full. These sound better than a lot of other speakers. And they don't distort. You ready? How good is that? It's not the loudest. Don't get me wrong, it's loud, but it's not the loudest, but it's so clear, and it has depth, and it's a $160 phone. What is this? Also comes with MIUI 12. If you've not used MIUI, it's a bit like an iOS, it's like a copy of iOS and TouchWiz. That's the only way I can put it. It's not the greatest launcher, but you can fix that, and I'll show you that as well later on in the video, how you can change that. But yeah, it's Android 10 too, so not bad. Not bad at all. As a package, it comes with all kinds. Oh, IR blaster. We also have an IR blaster on top. We also have a 3.5mm headphone jack. So yeah, this thing is great. And it has a side mounting fingerprint sensor right here on the side. Oh, it's fast. See that? It is quick. No sooner. Let me hold this properly. It's fast. It's so fast. I've seen people say, oh, it takes about a second, but I'm just not getting that. I'm done. Also has face unlock as well if you want to use face unlock instead. But yeah, an extremely capable, fast device. So let's talk about using the phone day to day. This phone is no problem whatsoever. Don't get me wrong, it's not the biggest speed demon, and I think MIUI might have something to do with that. You might get the odd stutter every now and then in the launcher, but it's nothing horrendous, and it doesn't hang or anything like that. It might just be a frame dropped, maybe like that. And I do think it's, like I say, because of the MIUI launcher. But everything else, I mean, it's perfectly fast. There's no high refresh rate screen on this. It's a 60Hz screen. But again, at this price point, why would you expect that? This is an actual, it's like a, how can I say, it's like a unicorn in the phone world. There is just no way that you should be able to have all this at such a small price. Like I say, battery life on this thing lasts and lasts and lasts. And I'm quite a heavy user, and I can get 2 full days out of this easily. If you're not a heavy user, I could see you getting at least 3 and maybe into 4 days out of this. If it's something that you leave on standby, just crazy. No wireless charging, again, doesn't bother me. Has fast charging when it comes to wired charging. You've got to put your expectations into check what you are going to get with this phone, and they have cut the right corners for me. So no wireless charging, don't care. It's a $160 phone. This is just insane value all over. When it comes to using this phone every day, I've had no issue when it comes to using the music, listening to music, watching YouTube. Videos come through nice and crisp. I'll give you a look at the video now of what the quality is like on that. I can't play sound, but let's show you a video. It's really good actually for media, this phone. The speakers really do help. For films, this screen is great. Might be a bit blown out. Let me turn down the brightness so I can show you better. And now it's too dark. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's really good for watching movies and media on. It's a fantastic device when it comes to just playing and listening to what you want to. Can't buy a decent, good MP3 player or standalone little movie player for this. It's insane. This is perfect for a flight as well. I'm going to Vegas in January. This is coming with me because it lasts so long on the plane. When it comes to making phone calls on this, again, considering it's a global phone and it's not just a US device, it does really well. It hatches onto 4G LTE, no problem. I had no issues at all running this on T-Mobile. Get 4G all the time. Doesn't drop calls. Very solid. Very nice, clear sound as well when it comes to making calls. So yeah, there's really not a lot of negatives about this device. One of my negatives is, like I was saying before, is MIUI. So as you can see here, we're in the app drawer now. If you can look at the top, you'll see this subheadings. Some people like this. I'm not a fan. It's where you can choose what apps you want to see. I'd rather just scroll side to side. Unfortunately, when I do this, there's duplicate apps to what there is on here. You go up to the top here and you select what you want. So you've got things like shopping, finance and business, news and reading, photography, entertainment, communication. Does work with all the Android gestures as well. I've seen some people having issues where they're saying they can't get them to work. They are in there. You just go into the search of the settings and you can do it. So you can swipe back and swipe forwards and whatever. I've not even got them set up anymore on this because I reset the phone so I could show it to you. You know, it's glory how it came out the box. But yeah, you can do the gestures on this, which I like. One other thing about the POCO launcher is when you're installing things, it's actually just gone off, but you do get an ad every now and then on the installation screens or something like that. Again, no biggie. It's their way of bringing the price point down by charging other companies to put a small ad on there. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to blare out in big, loud, hey, don't skip this or anything like that. It's just a silent, usually a picture, and it's an ad on there. If that bothers you, maybe an issue, but it didn't bother me. It's not like it's a pop-up or anything like that that gets in your way. It's only when you're on a static screen, and it's only on certain things, so yeah, no sweat. That launcher, that's the main thing that gets me on this phone. So what I do is I use Launcher and I make this phone look like a Pixel. I'll show you. So in the App Store, just go to type in Launcher when it wants to focus in. Hello? There you go. So you just type in Launcher. I get the beta version. I can't remember why. Maybe they're all beta versions. I don't know. But you type in Launcher 2. For some reason, I'm not manually focusing anymore. Thanks for that. But we're not automatically focusing. So Launcher is now done. There's the ad I was telling you about. You see the ad there? See? It's throwing up an ad on that screen. I'm not going to hate that. I'm just not going to. And there it is. That is, let me turn the brightness up a little bit. And there it is. That is the Pixel launcher running on the M3. And it runs just absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever. You can do the swipe left as well. I've not downloaded the plugin, but it's very easy to do where you get the Google feed on the side. But yeah, I prefer this phone 100 times more with this launcher on. It's nowhere near as janky. It's just a nice, smooth experience. Launcher is really good if you're looking for a Pixel experience. It's also good if you want customization because you can download icon packs and widgets and all different kinds of things. But I keep mine basic. I just like to keep it that way because I'm a bit of a basic guy. Alright, so let's look at the camera, shall we? So when you open up the camera app, this is what you get. It's all very kind of stockish. Oh, look, extreme close-up. But as you can see, it picks up the colours really well and things like that. It's does a good job in the viewfinder. Well, let's take a picture, shall we? So let's do it with the rear camera. There we go. Because it's Snapdragon 662, it's not instant like that, but again, you can't expect it to be anything other. But yeah, when it comes to the actual picture, it does a decent job. Don't get me wrong, some of the lighting's off and that can be a little bit soft, but at this price point, this picture is like, it's perfectly fine. This is with the main rear camera. We're in a low light room where I've just got my light above me, and this perfectly acceptable at this price point, especially if you're just posting to social media and things like that. Let's take a selfie and we'll see how that comes out. Obviously the subject matter helps because I'm beautiful. 8-megapixel selfie camera. Again, not bad. A little bit soft, but low light. What can you expect? I'm perfectly happy with that. I think it looks just fine. It has a portrait mode too. I'll show you. The portrait mode with the main camera. So let's put this here so you can see. Right. We're going to hit this fat dude's face just to make sure. Does take a second to process, so nothing horrendous, but there we go. There's a portrait photograph. Again, does a decent job of blur in the background. You can't really see because there's not a lot of details in my background, but it brings the colours out and things like that. It does 1080p video as well, so you're not going to get anything like 4K video recording or anything like that. But again, it's not bad, it's not horrendous, it's perfectly usable. This is a great phone for anyone who just doesn't care about brand. Even though POCO is a big brand, they've just branched out on themselves. They are now their own entity. This is the best budget phone you can buy right now. It really is. If you're on a T-Mobile or AT&T or something that uses a GSM SIM card, not CDMA like a Sprint network or Verizon sometimes, because you've got to log the ESN onto their system, pain in the butt. But anything that uses a SIM, Metro, Cricket, anything like that, T-Mobile, fine, no problem. You can use this on their network. You're going to have absolute greatness out of this device and the money. I don't know how they do it. Like I say, $160. Someone told me about this. I was like, nah, mate, this thing is going to be a pile of poop. It's actually a pile of greatness at the money. POCO have knocked it out of the park at this price range. Very, very good. Like I say, my only negatives really are the launcher, but that's MIUI, and that's just the way it is. Easily fixed with a custom launcher like I've shown you. Mine now looks more like a Pixel. And the other bugbear with it is when it comes to the cameras, it is a triple camera setup, but you do only get a 48 megapixel regular camera and then a 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. So it's really only pretty much a single camera usability point. There's no ultra wide on here or anything like that. So yeah, but again, at this price point, I don't expect that. Camera isn't the best in the world, but it's the best at that price point by far. This phone punches well above its weight. You would be shocked when you get a hold of this thing. Also, like I say, it comes with the charger in the box. It does come with a case as well. It's just insane. In fact, I've got the box here. Let's show you very quickly what it comes in. It comes in the yellow box. The only reason I didn't do an unboxing is a lot of people have already done unboxings of these, but let's show you anyway. So, in the box, that's the plastic the phone's wrapped in. But then underneath here, you do get some quite good goodies with it. So, they give you these wristbands, whatever. I know my son likes these things, so he'll probably wear it. Everything you need, nothing you don't. And then another band for POCO. So, just little bits really. The value propositions maybe. A little bit extra that you don't get with $1,000 phones. Shock horror. This is a European plug, so don't think it's an English plug. It's not a British plug. Before people say, oh, it's from your home. No, it's not. This is a European plug. But still, 22 watt fast charger. It's impressive. Like I say, iPhones at $13, $12, $11, $100 don't come with chargers. There's your USB-C cable. Nice and thick as well. It's not a chintzy, slim one. And then you get, in this packet, you get, opens up like an envelope. SIM tool is obviously on the inside. Then you get this paperwork, user guide. Hey, you might like it. Might be a good read for you. And then you get, this is the warranty card. Not sure how the warranty holds up in the United States. That's something you might want to look into. But then the other nice touch is, at this price point, and again, a lot of expensive phones don't offer anything like this. At this price point, you're getting a screen protector and a clear case. I mean, it's just crazy value. I dare you to go out and buy me a brand new phone with a 6.5 inch almost borderless screen and then have the same specs as this, the same speaker quality. I challenge you to do that. You're not going to find it, and that's the case on the phone. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but this protects the phone. And I actually don't use it with the case because of it being the plastic material. But yeah, this thing is fast, very capable. Best phone you can buy right now. Link down out there. When I say the best phone you can buy right now, I mean budget phone. Don't jump on me and say, oh, you think it's better than a Pixel or it's better than this. No, bro. But $160-ish, this thing rocks your socks off. Alright, guys, back in the next one. Laters.